Soon I will enter, and I do apologize. I'm going to go ahead and start the recording at this time. The meeting has already started to be recorded. If you have not filled out the release form, please remember to do so so that we can have that on file. Thank you so much. And without further ado, first, I'd like to give acknowledgement to our district director. I don't see her on here, but in her absence, Christy Peterson. Our program quality director, Manny Garcia, DTM. And we are now up to the part that we've all been waiting for. And that is, we are also joined by our awesome, our amazing club growth director, who will give some introductions as well. We are excited to welcome Kelly McMasters, DTM.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, LaShonda. And I want everyone to know when LaShonda turns her microphone off, you hear those children in the background because she has the biggest heart in the world. And she is now, her family has grown by two, right? Two twins. And they have some new kids in their house. Those are your nieces, I thought?
Yes, my nieces. I helped one who's not camera shy. Well, she wasn't. She just walked up. So thank you for acknowledging that. They were actually on the other side of the house. So the fact that y'all heard them tells me I have some work to do.
And they are adorable, and LaShonda
is
taking on the role of caring for them. So if you hear that in the background, do what I do, smile and laugh and go, yay, those days are over for me. And, but we have a great program for you tonight. We are going to talk to you about how to talk about Toastmasters. One of the things I do know about Toastmasters, it is, and it has, and it will continue to benefit anyone who participates in the program. The issue we have is, I don't know how many of you this has happened to, but when you talk about Toastmasters or you bring it up, how many of you get the response of, what is that? A lot of us. A lot of people don't know what Toastmasters is, or you get those really great responses. Oh, you sit around and drink and give toasts? I've heard that one. There is actually a company named Toastmaster, and they make toasters. So they think we're toaster makers and drunks, apparently. And so what I've come to discover is we need to talk more about Toastmasters and about our journey and how Toastmasters has benefited us individually and as a team and as a group. And we just don't see that enough. We have about 2,000 individual members in District 50, which is a lot of people. And my hope and thought is that if each one of those members would invite 3 people to a meeting, we could double the size of our district in no time. The other fun part about it all is meeting new people, not only outside of Toastmasters, but inside of Toastmasters. There's a lot of us. I haven't met everybody. I'm not sure everyone has, but wouldn't it be great if we all could hang out together? So we're going to talk about how to talk about Toastmasters. And I see Guapo has joined us. Thank you, Guapo. And our facilitator this evening is our Plains Division Director and our bundle of bubbly fun, Miss Kimberly Richards.
Thanks, Kelly. And I'm so glad to see so many people joining us for this really fun topic. And when I say fun, I kind of say that with tongue in cheek, because how many times have you also been asked about Toastmasters, and when you let them know, people say, I don't need it. Or I already know how to talk to a large group of people, and I can do it well, and I can do it successfully. But when they're talking to just in general, you know better. And you know that when you've gotten up in front of a lot of people, it's nerve-wracking. You get nervous, you get sick to your stomach, maybe you get the sweats, I don't know. So we have a great panel of gentlemen in store for you today, and I'm going to start off by introducing them. They each wrote and sent in their bio, and you'll get to get a feel for their personality probably also with their bio. I'm going to start off with Mr. MJ Presley, Distinguished Toastmaster. He is also one of my peers. He is our Frontier Division Director. He is the VP of Education at the McKinney Motivators. He is also the VP Education at Storytellers. MJ is an active member within District 50, and he's been a member since 2008. And over the years, he has held every single officer role there is to hold, and his favorite is Sergeant at Arms. He has been a member of 9 different clubs, and he has been a member of 5 clubs just in one Toastmaster year. So that means he gets around the different clubs, he loves to visit them, and he has been what we used to call an area governor. And he has also served as the district logistics manager. He has been on the district stage in the Tall Tales, humorous speech, and international speech. And he says, and I don't agree with him, but he says that if you think about him, he is a has-been, but he's not. He's very relevant, even with his hat this evening. So welcome to MJ to our panel. Next up, I'd like to introduce Roy Martinez. Roy is a passionate Toastmaster from Dallas who is just getting started, and we're going to find out. I want him to tell us just, oh, here it is. In just 6 months of experience in the program, Roy has already gained valuable knowledge and skills in public speaking and leadership development. More importantly, Roy is committed to helping others learn the benefits of Toastmasters. And when he says that, he acts on it, and that's why he is here today. After just 6 months, he really is eager to share his journey. He offers insights into how he has grown and developed. He believes in the mission is always number one when it comes to speaking about Toastmasters to others. He is committed to helping others reach their full potential through Toastmasters and is honored to be on our panel today and to collaborate with the rest of the panel and share with the audience how we can be more confident in speaking about Toastmasters. He has a skill set of making friends with every single stranger he meets and getting them interested in Toastmasters. It's artful, everyone. I have seen him do it, and he doesn't even just do it, but he brings you along on the journey, and it's just phenomenal. I can't wait for you to hear from Roy this evening. And last but certainly not least, we have Guapo. He is a charismatic, influential figure who inspires positivity and confidence in people through his words and actions. He is from Ghana, and Guapo has built a reputation as a successful social media influencer, event host, and a beard care business owner. Think about that, MJ Presley. You might need to speak to him later on. And he has a passion for making people feel good about themselves. Guapo uses his platform to spread his message of self-love and confidence. So we have really a great treat in store for you today. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to kick off, and I'm going to start with MJ. MJ, when you first joined Toastmasters all those years ago, how were you approached about it? Or what did someone say to you to get you interested in just visiting a meeting?
I had a very good friend of mine, and his name is Don Hay. And why I mention his name is because he is as silly as I am. Now, Don came by my house one afternoon and asked me what I was doing. I said, nothing. He says, great, I want you to go someplace with me. Sure, why not? After I cleared it with Allison, I we left, and next thing I know, we were walking into a meeting. And I asked him, what is it? He said, this is Toastmasters. And I was like, what? He said, just sit down and enjoy it. It was amazing. I saw the camaraderie, the encouragement, the interaction one with another to help them to learn and to grow. And they were having fun. Heaven forbid that we would have fun. And I was like, I want to know more about this organization called Toastmasters. And that is how I came about being a member of Toastmasters.
Did you join right away, or did you visit a couple more times before you joined?
He wasn't going to take me home until I joined.
Okay. Good to hear. Good to hear.
So, and I would say he did me a favor, a big favor.
I think he did
which
us all
I'll
a
share
favor.
I'll share a little bit more of that later on.
Okay.
Back to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Guapo, what about you? When you first joined Toastmasters or were approached, how did that happen, and what made you either visit or join Toastmasters in the very beginning?
In December 2019, I was at my lowest of lows. I was searching for a job, and dead end after dead end, I kept on hitting the same block. It was on a fateful day, on a Thursday in December of 2019, where I had my worst interview ever. I came unprepared. I wasn't ready. I didn't study beforehand, and I bombed the interview. When I bombed the interview, the boss was so generous enough to slide me a Toastmasters card. When he slid that Toastmasters card, he said, "You're not going to join. I know you people. You're not going to join." Fast forward to 2023 or 2022, actually, I didn't join until October 1st, 2022. I've been a member for a short span of time, but during this time, I've been able to see how my speech has turned from lackadaisical to more passionate, better grammar, no ums, no ahs, no indefinite statements like, oh, I don't think I can. Oh, maybe, more positive statements. And I feel like everybody in life should be more executive and more definite with whatever they say and whatever they do. And Toastmasters is a great avenue for you to brush up on your leadership skills while improving your communication skills immensely. That was my journey with Toastmasters. And I hope this journey keeps on overflowing to new, beautiful opportunities and blossoming, learning memories forever.
Thanks, Guapo. Roy, what about you?
Well, the very first time that I heard about Toastmasters was probably 2018 or 2019. There was a manager at my workplace who was always like, he was this manager who was always into growth, always teaching us about, all of these authors and always told us about ways of how to improve ourselves. Well, he said one day, "Hey, I think you should join Toastmasters." I looked into it, our company's Toastmasters, but I said, you know what? I don't know if I want to join with a whole bunch of my peers. I don't know if I'm that confident yet. So regretfully so, I actually take that back, because I don't regret it, because I probably would have met everybody here. But I didn't take his advice, but Guapo had joined back in October. He said, "Hey, I just joined this group," and he just sent us the link on a Wednesday morning. Actually, he sent it at 6:55 a.m. He said, "Hey, we have a club meeting in 5 minutes. You should join. It's a Toastmasters meeting." So when I joined, and within the first 5 to 10 minutes, I said, you know what? I want to be here, because I want to be able to speak like the rest of the people who are on this call. And everybody on that call was so nice, so friendly and funny. and they actually made my first experience with Toastmasters very fun, that I decided to come in as a guest a couple more times. And then one day I reached out to Lewis Covington and I said, hey, I want to join. Whatever it takes, I want to join, and I want to be a member by next Wednesday. Sure enough, sent me all the stuff, and here I am, Executive Toastmasters.
And we're so glad you're all here. So let's keep going. We have been recently, if you haven't heard, the club growth team has grown, and we have some amazing, I'm going to call them networkers. And what we've been doing is we've been going to networking events. We've done 2 or 3, and we've got more scheduled for the rest of this year. And what we're doing is we're joining together to talk about why Toastmasters is for everyone. Not just come and join my club specifically. When Roy or Guapo or MJ are out there talking, or myself, Kelly or Leslie, when we're talking, I don't say, come and join XYZ club. We want you to come be a member. Don't come and be a member of Expressive. Don't become a member of McKinney Motivators or Speech Please or Tyler. We're saying, come experience Toastmasters. It's for everyone. We want you to find the right time, the right culture. My question is for you, Roy. I'm going to be asking this one right now for you. How do you shift your approach when you're talking to other people at these events about Toastmasters, or I'm going to say future members? Do you just have one go-to storyline, or do you adjust it depending on your feel and conversation that you're having? Can you kind of go into your strategy of what that looks like for you when we're at our networking events, and how that has helped you continue to grow and maybe foster these relationships and future Toastmaster members?
That's a very great question. Well, so I'm going to be honest with you. My intention when I go up to somebody, or somebody comes up to me, I don't begin the conversation with the intention of them joining Toastmasters. I first go in with the intention to get to know this person. I first, begin to ask this person questions, like, hey, like, what do you do? Or if it's a vendor, I say, hey, what motivated you to start your own business? What types of challenges do you face? Do you face interpersonal challenges? Do you face interpersonal challenges? What is, what are some of the things that you wish you can do better? And I can guarantee you that 9 out of 10 times, the majority of the people are going to say, I struggle with communicating my business out to people. I sometimes I know that I can grow my business, but sometimes I get the fear of rejection because I'm not confident enough about myself. Or sometimes somebody says, well, one of the things that I want to work personally is to make more friends. And that usually leads to my point where I'm like, hey, well, you know what? We would love to have you as a guest at our Toastmasters meeting. And then I begin to tell them a little bit about how our meetings are structured. And then I begin to tell them about some of the benefits that I've gone through, that I've earned, and like some of the other benefits that, members can also attain by joining Toastmasters. So I just think for me, it just begins with 1, believing in Toastmasters, and 2, really getting to listen and to know this person.
So you do customize it. You create this. You create your narrative based upon what you discover about that person sharing their story with you.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, I just feel like it should be a win-win for everybody involved, and I want to make sure that we can provide them the experience that's going to benefit them. Because with Toastmasters, as you all know, there's ways that you can improve every aspect of your life depending on which direction you choose to go with it.
Absolutely. MJ, I saw you talking and nodding your head very, very much in agreement. What are your thoughts on how you pivot and approach people that you know or don't know when we're at events?
I have been accused of being a people person. I can't imagine why, but I enjoy talking to people. And I will go up to just about anybody and start talking to them. And one of the things that has helped me to break the ice is wearing one of the little Toastmaster pins or my badge or a Toastmaster hat. And they say, what is Toastmasters? And then I'll be able to explain to them what Toastmasters is. And some of them, I have been lucky enough to do what Dawn has done for me and say, hey, I'll be by this evening and pick you up. I would like for you to go and be my guest at a meeting. Bring them in, introduce them. One of the things that I have learned out among the populace, if you would, in introducing Toastmasters is that I am a Toastmaster ambassador, spreading the goodwill of Toastmasters to others, that they too can see what Toastmasters can do for them. Kim?
I love it. Thank you, sir. Guapo, what suggestions would you give to a Toastmaster member of District 50 or any Toastmaster who's just not maybe comfortable or what you would consider a natural ambassador, walking up to a stranger and introducing themselves and explaining why Toastmasters? What advice could you have? Because I'll tell you, we've been at some of our events and I've sat with some of our other members, and we are at the table while you are all out being ambassadors for Toastmasters, and there's a need for both. There's a need for someone to be at the table in case someone swings by, and there's a need for you all to go out and meet every single one of the vendors at the event or go and mingle, because we're covering multiple points of different personalities. But there's not everybody has the natural gift of gab, if you will, or natural gift to be the ambassador. So if someone wanted to stretch their selves and try to evangelize, what kind of advice would you give to our members or to someone who maybe isn't as confident?
Thank you, Kim. And when you ask these questions, I instantly began to think about how I asked myself those same exact questions. One thing that comes to mind is something that has helped me every single time I have been outside talking about Toastmasters. It's a quote by a very wise man, and it says, "Life is a collection of present moments." Life being a collection of present moments, you just have to put yourself out there to try, not think about the outcome, not think about the rejection, because in life you're going to get rejected a lot, but it's how you respond from that rejection. I would encourage my fellow Toastmaster to take that experience. You may not be good at speaking to people randomly. You may be an introvert that doesn't like making friends. Just try something different and try something that's out of your norm. When I went to the Melissa event, I was freezing cold and I just wanted to stay where the heat was. However, I reminded myself that life is a collection of present moments and I should just get out of being comfortable and try something different. Putting yourself out there to trying something different is a collection of a present moment that you're making now that will forever impact you down the line, because now you have a visual representation what it looks like to trying things outside of your norm, making sure that you're creating new experiences and living in the present moment. Those are the three things that I would give to my fellow Toastmasters in order to be a better brand ambassador for Toastmasters. Kim?
Thank you so much. I love that. And for those of you who really don't believe Guapo about how cold Melissa was that day, you can see Kelly and Leslie are laughing.
He looked like an Eskimo.
It was cold. And bless our hearts, Kelly didn't even have a coat on. She was so hot. But here's the deal. I was frigid. And Guapo and I probably could have used 20 cups of coffee or hot chocolate just to try to stay warm. It was probably 40 degrees outside and the wind was blowing. We were in a field and we had the best time. Manny and Robert Sir brought us sandwiches and we just had a blast. So I'm going to talk about that blast, about our friends, and about communicating the same message to people that we work with or our neighbors or other groups that we are a part of. Not all of us just do Toastmasters. Some of us have book clubs or church organizations or different friend circles that we orbit in. MJ Presley, sometimes it's easier for us to approach a stranger about a Toastmaster and what we do aside from our friends. What advice do you have for our members on how to approach people that we know and be a Toastmaster brand ambassador? How do you shift that conversation? Sometimes it's harder. What are your thoughts on that?
It is harder because you don't know how you're going to be received. But guess what? You will be received. Roy is correct. You have to break the ice. Find out something about them. Think of it. I don't remember who said this, but I love it. It's speed dating, folks. It is speed dating. You go in, you meet somebody, you find out a little bit about them, and then you say, have you ever heard about Toastmasters? Most of the time, as Kelly pointed out at the beginning of our meeting tonight, they'll say, what's Toastmasters? Y'all get together and drink? I'm for that. Well, they may very well be for that, but when they find out that it is a organization that helps you improve as a leader in public speaking, they're like, yeah, this is for me. Let's shift that just a little bit. Could we, Kim? Let's say you're at a club meeting, you're getting set up. This is why I like being sergeant at arms. And someone comes to the door and they say, is this Toastmasters? And you say, yes. What you do there, you become a customer service representative, and they are your customer. And you have to sell that customer to come on in. And you take that customer to either the VP of membership or the president or both. And then at that point, they become the customer of that officer. And we share what we have to offer others. And it's more than a hat. It's more than speaking. It is more than making a presentation. It's leading others so that they can grow. Kim?
Can I tag on to that a little bit?
Please.
I also think that when we're working with our friend circle or our coworker circle, sometimes it's not a one and done conversation. Sometimes it's planting the seed. Sometimes it's just pointing out some repetitive words that people are saying and calling it out. I had that experience last fall, and I had a leader in my organization tell me that he will never look at our leaders giving presentations to him the same way again. I have ruined it for him. And I will tell you that that is the best thing that I've ever heard, because what that means is they're starting to see that not everybody has that gift. And it's not even a gift. It's the regiment and the practice, and it's the things that we do in our meetings and holding each other accountable on all of those different levels. And sometimes it just takes some repetition and having them and pulling it from them. And so be patient with your friend circles, but don't shy away from it or be embarrassed like, yeah, I'm a Toastmaster. I would say be confident about that. Roy, have you evangelized between, outside of the strangers? Have you evangelized and been an ambassador within your friend circle, or how is that working in your realm?
Definitely. And as a matter of fact, at my workplace, at the current role that I'm in now, I've been doing it for about 2 years, but we still have an internal chat of the team that I used to lead in my old position. And every single day we talk, we share quotes, we share, news or whatever, like whatever the case is. And this past Friday, I said, hey guys, if you do anything this weekend, I want you guys to check this site out. We do have a club here at our firm. However, it doesn't hurt to, see what's out there and see if you want to, become a member of, a club or two, or just check them out. And immediately I started to get responses like, oh my gosh, I've heard about these people, but I've never known what it was. I just heard the name. But once I sent them the link to the Toastmasters.org. And then I also told them a little bit about what I've been doing in Toastmasters. A lot of them said, you know what, I want to do it. So it goes back to what MJ was saying about sometimes you feel that, you feel that you could be, perceived in a certain manner, or you could feel rejection. But at the end of the day, that there's one thing that I say to myself, and it'd be nice if we can all say it on this call now and say, I am a proud Toastmaster. Can we do it all together?
Yes, or put it into chat. I am a proud toast. Yes.
I am
I
a proud
am
proud
Toastmaster.
Toastmaster.
I am a proud Toastmaster.
And
Yay.
that right there, that keeps my energy flowing of how committed I've become to Toastmasters, because I have seen the results in such a short amount of time. And if somebody were to ask me to do this about a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have probably said, you know what, I'll think about it and probably go a different direction and never look back. But it's very important to ensure that, whoever's in your close circle, make sure that you talk to them about it, because you never know. They might ask you a question like, how did you begin to do that? How did you lead an educational session at a youth leadership summit? And, that builds interest, and then that obviously builds motivation. And before you know it, they're in the club and they're in a session like this one here.
So I'm going to actually pivot from my questions on my screen, and I'm going to ask those on the call today, and you can either come off of mute or you can put it into chat. How many of you are apprehensive when it comes to talking at work or within your friend circle, or even to a stranger? If you want to just raise your hand, maybe put into chat what makes you uncomfortable or gives you pause when working to be a Toastmaster ambassador or a customer service representative of Toastmasters. Put it into chat. Feel free to come off of mute. I'd like to hear from you so that we can understand, because we know what our experiences are, but I really want to make sure that we're hitting the nail on the head for everyone, because it's different for everyone and it's not always the same. So, and I'm going to keep going here while you guys warm up. I don't think I won't call on people, Shane Gilmore. I'm not shy. And so I would love to hear maybe you're not, what works for you when you're going into your friend circle. And I say that because I think that it's good that we're not alone. I'm not always the most comfortable when I have, ask Kelly and Leslie. I've been talking about trying to get a corporate club started at my work for 6 months now, and I haven't done it yet. However, I'm still ambassadoring within my group, and my leader just recently said, I'd like Kim to teach some classes on Toastmasters. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way, but that's okay, because that means that they're thinking about it. Hey, Leslie, I saw you come off of mute.
Yeah, Kim and I've talked about that, and I told her, I think it was yesterday, that I don't have a problem I can walk up to a total stranger, but if there's no way I would even approach my friends about it, because I know they wouldn't join. And they would just be like, nah, I'm not doing that. You're ridiculous. But I would prefer going up to a stranger and talk to them.
I love that. And I love the honesty, because if we can address what makes us nervous, we're able to then conquer that fear as well. And we can start taking baby steps to do that. Because what I love about a lot of the people that we work with that are on this call is, you heard Roy say it, you heard Guapo say it, Kelly has said it, Leslie, MJ, LaShonda, I am proud to be a Toastmaster, but we have seen what it does for people. The shy, introverted people, the people who didn't want to necessarily take the area director role or lead, or how difficult is it for us to give feedback and be rejected, or fear that you're going to hurt someone's feelings because you're trying to help them. That's a reality for so many people. Tommy Kenyon, irrational fear. You would think your organization would love your involvement within an organization that improves your communication leadership, especially a communication medium where I work at a TV network. That's amazing. I think we have opportunity there, but you have verbal expressions at your office, right, Tom? Do you have, is that, no?
Not at my office. That they're the Yahoo. They were Verizon, but they're Yahoo web. So that's not my. I'm Valley Sports. Used to
Yeah.
be Fox Sports.
Oh, gotcha. So that might be a place where you can start to do some water, I call it water dripping, and just plant those seeds and start talking about what it has done for you. I've heard you tell us what it's done for you. Out at Melissa, you talked about how you were extremely shy and very introverted, and you've become so much more
Still
confident,
am.
right?
Still am, but you wouldn't know it like when I'm in my element.
Are you in your element today?
Kind of.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, MJ, I saw you came off. Hey.
Yeah, I did. You know, you were talking about people being shy. I point to Allison as a good example of what Toastmasters can do for people. I point to Stu as a good example of what Toastmasters can do for you. Allison was more than just a wallflower. She was the stem. And in fact, she would tell you she was Miss Cellophane. They would see right through her, walk right past her, wouldn't even know that she was there. And now she is very confident in her communication. She is participating in contests as well. And more so, she has opened up to others to share the joy of Toastmasters. Toastmasters can make a difference. Just because someone is different from us doesn't mean Toastmasters can't help them. If they walk in with a cane or if they're in a wheelchair, that's a potential member that Toastmasters can help.
I'm going to call upon our youth leadership summit that we just all, actually a lot of us on this screen were there. And for those of you who missed it, it's a treat. It's a gift that the youth give to us when we get to help them be better speakers and learn how to conquer their fears. There's two things that I saw at that event that was just that I saw personally. And one was a third grader, and he gave an inspirational speech. And he walked from side to side, and he would get to one side and he'd start his point that he was going to make. And he'd get 3/4 of the way and he'd forget where he was going to go with it. And he would pause. And then he would go to the other side and he'd go to his next point. And then he'd do the same thing. And what I had heard about and learned is that this little boy was terrified to speak, and he almost didn't come. And if we look at that as an example to us as adults, and how terrified are we when we're just evangelizing or being ambassadors or having gone to a meeting and speaking, it really levels us. And what it really does is it shows us that we're all the same. We all have different areas that we can improve upon. And so Roy, I know I just saw you come off of mute. Did you want to
Yeah.
say something? And then I was going to ask a question, but go ahead and say what you
Yeah,
were saying.
so I want to continue just as one point about the Youth Leadership Summit this past Saturday was I know Sangeeta, she worked really hard, to get all of us to keep it in order. She did her best, right? But there was this young man after I gave my speech with Guapo and Andrea who said, "Hey, I wasn't sure if I wanted to compete, but after watching and listening to you guys, like I want to compete in the impromptu in the table topics contest." So I said, well, I would love for you to join, but let me just make sure that it's okay. And Sangeeta, I saw the look on her face and she smiled and she said, yes, we'll do it. And although we added a little bit more work, to the people who are printing out the certificates and things like that, but that young man won 3rd place for that contest. And he was the happiest person that I've saw that whole entire day. So it's things like that that make me a proud Toastmaster, and it should definitely make you guys proud because being in Toastmasters has the power to inspire others and really encourage others to come out of their comfort zone.
I agree. I agree. So one of the things that I have loved is, we got out there in Melissa, our very first event of the year, of the Toastmaster year, and we were all freezing together. And there weren't a lot of vendors out there. And MJ said, come on, guys, let's go meet the vendors. And we started going around. And, my thought was, we're going to just have people come to the table and we'll talk. And you guys took the table to the vendors. That was the first aha moment I had. The second aha moment I had, I'm going to ask this question to everybody on the panel, is what are the benefits that our members who join us at these networking events? I mean, I love y'all and everything, and I love going and hanging out with Kelly and Leslie and Roy and watching Roy say, Kim, come talk to this person with me, and he'll bring me in and we'll tag team it and have fun. But why should our other members who haven't maybe come to one of these events yet? Manny's been to 2 for sure, and he gets to meet everybody. We met I'm going to call her a partner. We're going to cross collaborate. We're going to go and be a vendor at one of her fairs, and she's going to come to our conference, Sur Mujer. I mean, we're opening up doors, but tell me, what are the benefits to our members who come and network with us at these networking events? What's in it for them? Who wants to? Kelly, can you tell us what's in it for our members when they come to one of these networking events with us? What are some of the things they're going to get out of it?
Right. There's several things you can get out of it besides just hanging out and eating donuts and coffee with us. Number one, you do get out of your comfort zone. When was the last time during the pandemic, we were all separated? When was the last time you walked up to someone, a stranger you didn't know, and introduced yourself and started a conversation? You get to practice that. And then you practice presenting yourself. If we could evaluate each other, we would. I mean, oh, that was great, maybe this. But the best thing I think that has come of this is that people in clubs who are in different divisions who would have never otherwise met get to meet at these events. And you widen your circle and you widen your network of meeting other District 50 Toastmasters. And what's great about that is they're like, well, come visit my club. Okay, well, you guys come visit my club. And so now we're expanding our friendships in D50, which to me is the greatest gift you can get, is to meet everyone else in D50 who has.
She knew that's what I wanted to get out of her, because
it is, to me, one of the benefits of doing these events without thinking it's a benefit. But we, being at these events, not only meet strangers. I am like MJ. I come from a long line of people who have never met a stranger, and we're very outgoing. but not everyone has that experience. And you can learn to be more outgoing, and you can learn how to present yourself to others and introduce yourself to others. It's a learned skill. I, like MJ, was just taught that skill when I was very, very young, because I just followed my parents' lead. But meeting all of you other D50 Toastmasters, to me, is the most fabulous fun I can have. So thanks, Kim, for asking.
You're welcome. One of the things, just to tag on to that, we were at the Mesquite event. Roy was there, and one of our members sat down and said, I still don't understand pathways. Do you understand that? Does it make sense to you? And it just, again, it's us helping our fellow Toastmasters. Not only are we out there talking to strangers, but now we're talking to each other and saying, absolutely, let me talk to you about that. Have you heard about leadership learning? You should come. And again, it's about socializing what we're learning. And I did see Thomas's question in the chat, and Leslie, thanks for answering that. And MJ, I saw you come off of mute. And then after MJ, I have one last question to ask the gentlemen. They're probably ready for it because I told them what I was going to do. But MJ, what were you going to share with us?
Well, actually, I was just going to propose the following question to Kelly and you, Kim, and that is, where is our next networking opportunity?
Leslie's going to put that into the chat because I have a final, and then as soon as we ask you guys, she'll put it in the chat, and then she's looking for people to volunteer. I actually meant a Pathways project.
3 clicks, Kim.
Okay, here we go. At the end of the day, you're going to a barbecue, you're meeting friends out for a drink, or you're at the office and you're taking a 10-floor elevator up with someone, and you are going to talk about Toastmasters with them in less than a minute. We call that in sales an elevator pitch. You can call it a barbecue pitch. You can say, I want you to explain it to me on a bar napkin. What is your conversation that you lead with or would lead with in that instance? Guapo, we're going to start with you.
Hi, my name is Guapo. What's your name?
My name's Kim.
Oh, Kim, nice to meet you, Kim. Kim, what do you like to do for fun?
I actually like hanging out with my friends and swimming.
Oh, hanging out with your friends and swimming. Well, do you mind if I tell you about this great place where you can hang out with your friends and actually meet people that like to swim as well?
No, tell me about it. I'm interested.
Yes, so I am actually from this club called Toastmasters, and what Toastmasters does is it helps you improve your leadership skills while also helping you better your communication skills. And we meet either virtually or in person, and all we do is just fellowship together, play speech developmental games, and just get to know different people. So is there something that you've ever thought about Toastmasters? Like, have you heard of it before?
I actually have never even thought about joining a Toastmasters before because I'm kind of a chatty Cathy, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? It would sound even interesting to see you at a Toastmasters event. So here's my QR code. You can scan this QR code, and it's basically has links to different clubs and what time they meet. And whatever time works for you, you can join in and see what Toastmasters is about.
Thanks, Guapo. I appreciate your sharing that with me. And this QR code is so slick. We're going to tell you about those in just a second. That is awesome. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, MJ, we're at a barbecue. You've brought the potato salad and the beer. Maybe not the beer. Maybe it's sweet iced tea.
No, I'm Texan. It's unsweet tea.
Oh, okay. I don't like
Okay.
sweet tea, so I'm
Let's
down with
be
the
fair.
unsweet.
Some folks like sugar in their tea, but I'm glad you asked that question, because here is a glass of tea for you, Kim. And if I was to tell you that I know of an organization that is multicultural, had the opportunity to meet people that have been all over the world, help you to improve your communication and leadership skills. And not only that, Kim, it would help you to grow in your company. Would you be interested in knowing more?
You had me at international. Yes.
Toastmasters is an organization that has been around for many years and that has multiple clubs all over the world. And not only that, I believe, if I recall, it's like 125 years old, give or take a day or two. And if an organization has been around that long, do you think it would not have something that it could offer you?
I would say it probably does, the way you're talking to me about it.
Well, come with me this coming Wednesday evening and let me buy you supper and show you what Toastmasters can do for you. What time may I pick you up?
I'll drive and I'll meet you there, but it sounds like a plan.
It's a plan. I'll
All right.
see you at 7.
Thanks, MJ.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Roy. Here we go.
Hi. Actually, I'm not gonna choose you, Kim. I
Okay.
actually want to talk to Rhonda. Rhonda, do you mind if I just borrow you for a quick second?
Okay,
Hi, Rhonda. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Roy.
Excellent. Hey, Rhonda, I want to ask you a quick question. Have you ever heard of a group called Toastmasters?
Toastmasters? I've heard something about it. Can you tell me a little bit more?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you, it's not the toaster brand that you see at the Dollar General. It's
Oh,
actually an organization that helps create and evolve, that helps create environments in which you can personally grow, and that growth can really build your leadership and communication skills. Because if you remember, there's communications of all sorts, whether it's verbal and nonverbal, and I can take you to a place where you can learn how to communicate better, build your confidence, and as well as build your network. And do you want me to tell you the cost of this?
oh, yes.
It will only cost you 1 hour of your week, only 1 hour. So that means you would just have to not watch whatever show that you binge, or just wake up an hour earlier. That's all it takes. And the return on investment will be much higher than what you put into it.
All
And
right.
that right there is Toastmasters.
All right. Well, sounds like the organization I need to look into.
Definitely. I will send you some more information, and I promise I'll make it as easy as I can for you to join.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good job. So true story, we were out at Melissa and we were all standing there in a circle and we were all kind of cold. And Leslie and I think, had just gotten back from talking to the Melissa Library. And we were there and we met a lady by the name of Lauren Purple, who happened to be the adult education leader at the library. And we had to do our pitch. We solicited her. And I wasn't even thinking about the process. And one of the things that I was talking to her about was, well, it helps people with, and I learned a new acronym that David Adams shared with us. It's called PIE, P-I-E. You learn how to give prepared speeches. You also will get the experience of an impromptu speech. A lot of times people approach you at work and ask you a question and you're not ready for it. And you've got to be able to come back with an answer and fill that time. And the other is evaluations. So whenever I'm talking about Toastmasters with anyone, I always talk about the PIE, and it's a really easy way to remember it and let people know, because they might be really great speakers, but maybe they're not good at on the fly conversations. So with that, I see that we're at the yellow card, and if you guys have questions, definitely let us know. I put in the chat, if you are interested in just kind of kicking it old school with us, getting to know Roy and Guapo and MJ or myself, Leslie and Kelly better, you want to get to know us, join us for one of these networking events. We just couldn't be more excited to share it with you all. Kelly's right. I think we met some new people at Mesquite that I had never even known that they existed before. They were a part of an attorney club that all lawyers and attorneys and paralegals, they have a Toastmasters club. And I think they're in Southern. I think they're in Mary's Patch. Had never met them before. Beautiful girls, lovely ladies. And it was just a treat. I just can't say enough about it. And you guys, MJ, Roy, and Guapo, you did not disappoint. And we're so glad that you were here. I'll say, hey, Mary, I can see your hand is up. What's up? Come on.
They're the counselors club,
Thank you. See, I knew you would know it. The Counselors Club.
big club,
Hey,
very
by
active.
the way,
What,
Mary,
Les?
this all came from your idea when you suggested last year, from suggesting going to the
Fair.
The fair. Yeah. So thank you for that.
So all of this stemmed from Mary having an idea, and we just took it, and Leslie's like, you know what? There's lots of events we can probably get into. One of our big events that we're really excited about, and then I'll hang up because I know we've got 3 minutes, is we're going to be doing a mud bug event in Eastern at Shreveport. And just to tell you again, to sell you and to share with you on what Kelly means, we're going to be teaming with District 25. Is that what it is, Kelly? No, it's the Louisiana. What is it? I don't know. It's another
I
district.
know this because I've been talking
I
to
know.
Hazel over
Hazel.
68.
68. And they're going to come and join us, and we're going to see what kind of leads we can get, and whether they're for 68, 50, or somewhere else, we're going to talk Toastmasters, because that's important. Whether they join us or they join over in Louisiana or they join in Florida, that's what's mattering to us. And so we're just super excited about sharing this with you all. Hopefully you've gotten a little bit out of this, a little bit more comfortable in being daring and just planting those seeds with people. But I wanted to say thank you for this evening. And thank you to our amazing panel gentlemen for joining, and my sidekicks, Kelly and Leslie. Thank you so much.
And if I could borrow the stage for 30 seconds, and I promise you it won't be longer than that. I will say that this to me was a challenge, and I'm glad, and I hope that you all took at least one or two important things from what we said today. But because we at Toastmasters love challenges, I challenge all of you guys to commit an hour or two on March 25th and join us for our event. And back to you, Kim. Thank you.
I love that challenge.
Thank you, Roy.
That's so awesome. I'll say Sangeetha came to Melissa. She was there. She gave an elevator pitch. We just went around the circle. Thomas gave an elevator pitch. And it was just amongst ourselves. It was like a quick table topic. It was great. LaShonda, you were amazing. Thank you. Anything from our club growth director? I'll let you take us out. I'm going to go on mute. You finish us up and wrap us. How's that sound?
That sounds great. So I want to thank you all for coming and for your interest in learning how to talk about Toastmasters. It is important, not only to us, but to your individual clubs, that we all have the ability to talk about Toastmasters and that we all can invite people to our clubs. It is, in my opinion, the best bang for your buck you're ever going to get. The one thing I gained in Toastmasters more than anything else was confidence. I was brought up in a generation where women were seen and not heard. And it has grown my confidence in ways that no other program could have done for me. So I am ever so grateful to Toastmasters. I talk to everybody about it. I go to restaurants. It doesn't matter where I go. I tell them, have you ever heard of Toastmasters? You should come to my meeting. And most of them walk away frightened. But every once in a while, one shows up and we
Didn't you
convert
tell the
them to-
Rudy's guy across the street to come?
Tell everybody to come.
Yeah.
It's a party. And he's right. Tom Kenyon is right. I am a maniac on a mission because I believe in this program, but more importantly, I believe in every single one of our members. I believe you have the capacity to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. And we can all help each other get there. So thank you for coming. If you have questions, they put my email, cgd@d50tm.org. Just reach out to me and we can talk about it. But I hope to see you at a community event. Exciting. Thank you.
We'll be posting that out on Facebook and Discord. So just keep looking for it, and Leslie can share that with you too if you'd like. So, or Kelly, they both have got it.
We're about to get that out, the 25th out here in the next day or two. So be watching for that. And we got one a month coming. It's gonna be
All
busy,
right.
busy, fun.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you all. Thank you.